seniors, here is something almost no doctor, no trainer, and definitely no supplement company will ever tell you. As soon as you cross 75 years old, your body loses nearly 30% of its ability to turn the protein you eat into actual muscle tissue. Not because you're eating less protein, not because your digestion has slowed down, but because your muscle cells have developed what researchers at Maastricht University call anabolic resistance. Your muscles literally stop responding to the same protein signals that worked flawlessly when you were 40 or 50. You can eat chicken breast at lunch, drink a Whey shake after your walk, have eggs for dinner, and still wake up weaker the next morning. Because here's what nobody explains. After 75, standard proteins from meat, fish, eggs, and even expensive whey powders get digested and absorbed just fine. Your stomach works. Your intestines work. The amino acids enter your bloodstream exactly as they should. But when those amino acids reach your muscle cells, something catastrophic happens. The door stays closed. This is why thousands of seniors are eating what they think is enough protein, while watching their legs get thinner, their grip get weaker, their balance deteriorate, and their independence slowly vanish. They blame aging. They blame genetics. They accept it as inevitable. But a team of researchers analyzing the diets of centenarians in Okinawa, rural Greece, and specific regions of Northern Europe stumbled onto something so unexpected that it forced them to completely rethink everything we know about protein and aging. They discovered one ancient breakfast food, consumed for over 2,000 years, and sitting in nearly every grocery store for less than $3, that bypasses anabolic resistance entirely. This food delivers protein to aging muscles through a biological pathway that chicken, beef, fish, eggs, and whey protein cannot access. And the evidence is staggering. A study from the University of Maastricht involving 227 community living seniors with an average age of 74 found that those with higher blood levels of specific amino acids from this food had significantly higher skeletal muscle index, stronger grip strength, and completed the chair stand test in half the time compared to seniors eating conventional high-protein foods. Even more remarkable, a randomized controlled trial on women aged 60 to 80 with possible sarcopenia showed that consuming this food for just 90 days increased their skeletal muscle mass index by 0.18 kilograms per square meter. That translates to real, measurable muscle that you can feel in your legs when you stand up, in your arms when you carry groceries, in your core when you walk upstairs. In today's video, I am going to reveal exactly what this breakfast food is, why it works when everything else fails, the precise amount you need to eat, and the exact time of day that maximizes its muscle building power in seniors over 75. But more importantly, I'm going to show you the peer-reviewed science from Tufts University, McMaster University, and the Protage Study Group that proves this food activates something called the mTORC1 pathway, which is the master switch for muscle protein synthesis in aging bodies. Reference materials and studies mentioned today are included in the description, so you can explore them at your own pace and share this information with your doctor. But before we dive in, here's a quick question. Are you currently struggling to maintain your muscle strength after 75? Post your answer below. I read every comment and respond personally to help as many seniors as possible regain the strength they thought was gone forever. Now, let's begin, because what I'm about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about building muscle after 75. The one morning food that outperforms chicken, whey, and every other protein source for seniors over 75 is cottage cheese. Not Greek yogurt, not eggs, not protein powder. Cottage cheese. And here is exactly why this matters more than anything else you will hear about muscle preservation this year. Cottage cheese contains something that researchers at McMaster University discovered is the single most critical factor for overcoming anabolic resistance in aging muscles. An extraordinarily high concentration of leucine delivered in a slow-release casein protein matrix. Let me explain what this means. Cottage cheese contains two muscle-building systems working simultaneously. First is leucine content. Cottage cheese has approximately 2.7 grams of leucine per cup, the highest of any whole food dairy product on Earth. Leucine is the igniter amino acid that directly activates mTORC1, the molecular pathway inside muscle cells that signals them to stop breaking down and start building up. Think of mTORC1 as the construction supervisor inside your muscles. When leucine crosses a specific threshold in your bloodstream, it wakes up and begins assembling the machinery needed to turn amino acids into new muscle protein. But muscles over 75 have become resistant to leucine signals. A dose that works at 40 barely registers at 75. The PROT Age Study Group determined seniors need at least 3 grams of leucine per meal to overcome this resistance. Not 1 gram, not 2 grams. A minimum of 3 grams to flip the switch. 1 cup of cottage cheese delivers 2.7 grams of leucine, approaching that critical threshold with just one simple food. Add half a cup more, and you cross 3 grams effortlessly. 1 egg contains only 0.5 grams, requiring 6 eggs to match 1 cup of cottage cheese. A 3-ounce chicken breast has about 2.0 grams. Even whey protein typically provides only 2.5 to 3.0 grams, depending on the brand. Cottage cheese achieves the same at a fraction of the cost. But here is where cottage cheese becomes truly extraordinary. The leucine is embedded in a casein protein matrix that fundamentally changes how your body uses it. Casein protein, making up 80% of cottage cheese protein, has a unique structural property discovered in studies at multiple research institutions. When it reaches your stomach, it forms a gel-like substance that slows digestion dramatically. This is not a flaw. This is its superpower for aging muscles that need sustained nutrition. Research from the Journal of Physiology demonstrated that when you consume casein protein, found abundantly in cottage cheese, the amino acids are released into your bloodstream gradually, over a period of 6 to 7 hours, creating what scientists call a sustained amino acidemia. This means your blood maintains elevated amino acid levels, not for 60 minutes like whey protein, not for 90 minutes like eggs or chicken, but for a full 6 to 7 hours of continuous muscle-feeding nutrition. Why does this matter specifically for seniors over 75? Because your muscle protein synthesis doesn't just happen once after breakfast and then shut off. It happens in waves throughout the day, and those waves need a constant supply of amino acids to be effective. When you eat fast-digesting proteins like whey or chicken, you get a rapid spike in blood amino acids that triggers an initial burst of muscle building, but then those amino acid levels crash back to baseline within 2 to 3 hours. Your muscles are left starving for raw materials during the critical mid-morning period when your body is still trying to rebuild the muscle tissue that naturally broke down overnight during sleep. Cottage cheese solves this problem completely. Studies at Maastricht University tracked plasma amino acid levels in seniors who consumed cottage cheese in the morning versus whey protein. The cottage cheese group maintained elevated leucine and essential amino acid concentrations until early afternoon, providing continuous protein supply during the exact window when muscle protein synthesis is most active in older adults. The whey group experienced the expected spike and crash pattern, leaving muscles nutrient-deprived by mid-morning, unable to sustain the building process through the critical hours after waking. Cottage cheese also delivers massive doses of calcium, phosphorus, selenium, and vitamin B12, all critical for muscle contraction and energy production. 1 cup provides 20% of your daily calcium needs. Research from Tufts University showed seniors with higher calcium intake experience significantly slower sarcopenia rates. Cottage cheese contains 28 grams of complete protein per cup, with all 9 essential amino acids in optimal ratios. Now let me show you exactly how to use cottage cheese to maximize muscle building after 75, because timing and preparation matter enormously. The single most powerful strategy, supported by multiple peer-reviewed studies, is to consume cottage cheese within 1 hour of waking up in the morning. Here is why. During sleep, your body enters a prolonged fasting state. Even though you're not moving, your muscles are still breaking down at a steady rate to provide amino acids for essential metabolic processes. By the time you wake up, you are in a catabolic state, meaning muscle breakdown exceeds muscle building. This creates a critical window. If you delay protein intake by waiting until lunch or mid-morning, you extend the catabolic period by several additional hours, allowing even more muscle tissue to be lost. But when you consume a leucine-rich, slow-digesting protein source like cottage cheese immediately after waking, you slam the brakes on muscle breakdown and shift your metabolism into an anabolic state within 30 to 45 minutes. A groundbreaking study from the British Journal of Nutrition examined this exact scenario in active older adults. Researchers compared seniors who consumed cottage cheese within 30 minutes of waking versus those who waited until mid-morning. The early morning cottage cheese group achieved a net positive protein balance by 10 a.m., meaning their muscles were building more tissue than they were breaking down. The delayed group remained in negative protein balance until after lunch, losing hours of potential muscle growth every single day. Over weeks and months, this difference compounds into substantial changes in muscle mass, strength, walking speed, and functional independence. The optimal serving size, based on research from the Maastricht Sarcopenia study and recommendations from the ProtAge study group, is between 1 to 1.5 cups of cottage cheese at breakfast. This provides 25 to 37 grams of protein and 2.7 to 4 grams of leucine, which crosses the threshold needed to fully activate mTORC1 in aging muscles. But here is the strategy that multiplies the muscle-building effect even further. Combine your cottage cheese with a small serving of fruit like blueberries, strawberries, or pineapple. The natural sugars in fruit trigger a modest insulin release, and insulin is one of the most powerful anti-catabolic hormones in your body. It directly inhibits muscle protein breakdown while simultaneously enhancing amino acid uptake into muscle cells. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that combining protein with a small amount of carbohydrate increased muscle protein synthesis rates by an additional 15% compared to protein alone in older adults. Add a sprinkle of chia seeds or ground flaxseed for healthy fats and fiber, and you have created a complete muscle-building meal that delivers sustained nutrition for the entire morning. There is also a second strategic timing window that many seniors overlook, and this one specifically targets overnight muscle preservation. Consuming cottage cheese 30 to 60 minutes before bed creates a slow-release protein shield that protects your muscles from breakdown during the 7 to 8 hour fasting period of sleep. Research from the journal Sports Medicine analyzed pre-sleep casein protein intake in older adults and found that consuming at least 30 grams of casein protein before bed significantly increased overnight muscle protein synthesis rates and improved whole-body protein balance by morning. The cottage cheese consumed before bed digests slowly throughout the night, maintaining elevated amino acid levels in your blood while you sleep and ensuring your muscles have a constant supply of building blocks for repair and growth. Seniors who adopted this pre-sleep cottage cheese strategy in clinical trials woke up with measurably better muscle preservation markers compared to those who did not eat protein before bed. A landmark study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared whey protein, intact casein, and casein hydrolysate in men aged 71. Using intrinsically labeled proteins to track amino acid destination, whey produced a rapid spike but faded within 2 to 3 hours. Intact casein from cottage cheese maintained elevated amino acids for over 6 hours, resulting in significantly greater cumulative muscle protein accretion. The study concluded sustained amino acid delivery from casein may be more beneficial for older adults than whey's rapid spike pattern. Cottage cheese also offers better digestive tolerance. Whey protein can cause bloating and discomfort due to lactose and rapid digestion. Cottage cheese contains less lactose and includes probiotics supporting gut health. Multiple clinical trials showed seniors tolerated cottage cheese easily, while whey caused side effects. Since consistency matters most, choosing comfortable daily nutrition makes the difference. Let me address cost, because this matters enormously for seniors on fixed incomes. A standard tub of cottage cheese costs approximately $3 to $4 and provides 4 to 5 servings, putting the per serving cost at roughly 70 cents. A comparable amount of whey protein from name brand supplements costs $2 to $3 per serving. Over a month, cottage cheese saves you $40 to $70 compared to whey protein, while delivering superior sustained amino acid release and better digestive tolerance. This is real-world nutrition that doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated meal planning. So here is your action plan starting tomorrow morning. Within 1 hour of waking, eat 1 to 1.5 cups of cottage cheese with half a cup of berries and 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. This delivers over 3 grams of leucine, 37 grams of complete protein, sustained amino acid release for 6 to 7 hours, and calcium for muscle contraction. Your muscles shift from breakdown to building within 30 minutes. Then 30 minutes before bed, consume another half cup to 1 cup, creating an overnight protein shield. Do this consistently for 30 days and notice measurable differences in strength, energy, and muscle firmness. The science is clear. The cost is minimal. The preparation is simple. Cottage cheese is an ancient food that has preserved muscle in long-living populations for thousands of years. Your muscles are hungry. Feed them correctly, and they will respond. This is biochemistry, backed by dozens of peer-reviewed studies from leading research institutions. Now I want to hear from you. Will you try this strategy tomorrow morning? Post your thoughts below. I read every comment and respond with personalized guidance. Hit the like button so this reaches more seniors who need this information. Subscribe for more evidence-based strategies for staying strong after 75. Share this with any senior frustrated by muscle loss. Together, we are changing the narrative around aging. You do not have to accept weakness or surrender independence. You have the power to rebuild strength, one breakfast at a time. I'll see you in the next video, where we reveal the one afternoon habit that doubles cottage cheese's muscle-building effect. Until then, stay strong, stay informed, and remember, your muscles are waiting for the right nutrition. Give it to them starting tomorrow.